Welcome, everybody, to the Pulse with Purpose live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about making friends with fear. Over the weekend, we recently went to Burley, Idaho for the 7th annual Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. And we held some meditations, did some shamanic drum Reiki, and the way that it flowed was just amazing. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But this is Chelsea. She's now part of the Cosmic Pulse. We're really excited to have her. She came up with us to the event, and the way that it flowed was just so beautiful. So I'm excited to have her a part of this. And so we'll really just dive in, but it's making friends with fear. Um, Really, the Cosmic Pulse has been a lot of fear. I mean, before getting into the Cosmic Pulse, starting this, I was a marketer, and so I spent a lot of time alone and didn't really get to interact with a lot of people. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity to face my fears. Some of the fears came from, can I do this or not? With my clients, but I could always perform. But stepping into this, where there's a lot more people involved, there's a community involved, there's different events that we're putting on, the drum circles, the men's group that was just launched. There's really just a lot of opportunity for us to step into that fear. And I think fear can really be a crippling thing, especially if we allow it to be sort of an enemy. Instead of realizing, there's obviously a purpose to fear. There's a reason that it's there. It can guide us to stay away from putting our hands on the hot stove, or, going and petting a grizzly bear, but there's also another side of fear, right? It's not the same. It has two sides of it. And I think fear can really be a friend of ours. It can be something that we can become allies with and allow it to guide us into finding our gifts. For me, the more that I step into the fear when it arises, the more that unlocks within me the different gifts that I never knew that I had. And even right now, Chelsea, this was a very impromptu thing for her to be on this live stream. But it's, I think, a little bit of fear. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
What does that feel like for you?
I think for me, I've always been afraid to be seen, to put my voice out there, to put myself out there. I've kind of lived my life in the shadows, in the background, and presenting myself to the world has always been a fear for me. But after this weekend, it just facing that fear and stepping into it and having support and having community was very transformative for me, to just step into the fear and just flow with whatever came.
Yeah, 100%. So I kind of liken it. I had this experience where I went to Flaming Gorge, and which is like in Colorado or Utah or right in between or something like that. But it's kind of a simple example, but I think it reflects the same experience. But we went cliff diving, and there was some giant cliffs, and as soon as we pull up to the cliff, there's that instant like excitement, right? And when some opportunities come into your life where you get to face that fear, there's some excitement about it. It's like, oh wow, an opportunity. But then it's like almost instantaneously met with the monkey mind, or just with some dialogue in the mind that maybe deflects us from wanting to. So it's this battle between excitement and worry that something bad is going to happen. And we have the opportunity to step into that fear, and when we make that decision, the fear doesn't just necessarily go away, because as you get closer to that cliff, the mind is still racing, thinking of all the possibilities. Could I die? Could I drown? Could something really bad happen? Could I hurt myself? And as soon as you get to the top of the cliff, when you're looking down at the water, it gets even worse. You're there, the opportunity to jump is there. And so something that I really discovered in that experience being at Flaming Gorge on that cliff was you have to jump. You can't stand at the edge of the cliff and think about it. The longer that you stay there at the edge of the cliff, the less likely it becomes that you will actually do it. So you step to the cliff and you just go, right? And as soon as you hit the water and you come back up and you realize that you didn't drown, you didn't die, you didn't hurt yourself, and it was fun in the process, um, you realize that it was a lot more simple and you want to do it again. And these instances are the same with the things that arise in our lives for when it comes to fear. I know a lot of us, we're looking for our purpose, or why we're here, what our gifts are. And sometimes we have an idea of what that is. We're called to something, we have a desire to express ourselves in certain ways, but we've, over time and through our lives, that expression of what it is that we want has been suppressed by the friends that we've had in the past, or our parents or our guardians or whatever, telling us that it's not safe, that it's scary, you should get a job, you should get a mortgage and do all these matrixy things. And so it makes it that we carry that with us to that experience. The opportunity arises, the desire is there, but then the mind comes in and, yeah, but your parents told you should get a job and this is the way that the world works. But that's not exactly true. I think, because, and another component to that, not only what we're bringing into that experience of what we've been taught or what we've learned in the past, but it's like, how are we going to do this? Sometimes the how is also the thing that cripples us and prevents us from actually going out and doing the thing, when in reality the how is not even necessary at all. I mean, you may come up with an idea of how, but it never actually ends up going that way. For example, we went to Burley for the Body Mind Spirit Expo, and we were going to do a drum circle. We had some other things planned out, kind of, but none of it went that way. We started a drum circle for the eclipse. There was 6 of us there, and so we decided to move inside where the expo was. People with the same 6 with us, which was awesome. It's always fun to drum and hang out with people and see kids play and just people get out of their comfort zone and express themselves. But that was the last time that we did a drum circle. We considered doing it the next day, but just with the way that the expo was going down, it just didn't seem like it was going to be a great opportunity for us to really showcase the Cosmic Pulse skills, because we do facilitate. When we have a bigger group, we're able to help guide rhythms and get people out of their comfort zones and really into the flow and in entrainment, which is where the real magic happens. But so instead, we had the opportunity to guide basically a shamanic guided drum meditation. And so, she had no plans of guiding any sort of meditation. I'll let you speak on some of your experience. But she guided the meditation, we drummed, and even Michael Lamott, bless that man, he was there and decided to join us for the drumming. And held down the rhythms for the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony on the first day, and the opening ceremony on the second day. And he did great. I love watching people step out of their comfort zone, and for both of them, and even me, I've been doing this for a couple months now, and it gets easier and easier and easier, but the fear is still there, and it never really goes away, but it's also a friend. But kind of talk about your experience with yoga, meditation, those sorts of things.
Yeah. So for this expo, I really had no idea what to expect. I thought this was like a big outdoor thing, and it was actually held inside. And we kind of talked about, oh, maybe if there's an opportunity or a space, we can do some like group healing sessions. I could guide a meditation, he could do some drumming. It's a very powerful combination. So it was kind of just an idea that was thrown out there, and we didn't really like have any set plans or anything like that. And like he said, we had the idea we were going to do a drum circle, and I got invited kind of last minute, and just was like just showing up for it just to see what unfolded. And like Shane said, we ended up just leading these really powerful meditations. We opened and closed with a drum meditation both days of the expo. And like I said, I'm always in the shadows, in the background. And for me personally, I was terrified to be on stage with a microphone. And yeah, there was a lot of fear that came in with that. And I just got in a place of surrender and just came back to my center and grounded, and I was able to just allow whatever needed to flow. And it was just a beautiful experience. We had a lot of support from the vendors coming in to meditate with us, and also some of the people that were there to help support at the event.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fear is a friend thing. I mean, it's like, obviously there's a purpose, but when we notice the fear and we acknowledge that fear coming up, like she said, I mean, it's something that becomes guided by spirit. I think what it actually is, fear is spirit, right? It's telling us, don't put your hand on the stove, but maybe you should get yourself out there, put your grab that microphone and guide that meditation. And when you answer the call of the fear, because you are answering the call one way or another, you're saying, no, I'm not listening to you, spirit. And maybe you do put your hand on the stove and then you're instantly like, you get the repercussions. But when you answer it, when it feels right, when it's in alignment with the things that you want to do and expressing yourself, it also, you get to reap the benefits, the repercussions of answering to spirit. And then, while you got that microphone, while you're drumming, while you're singing, while you're dancing, while you're, creating whatever it is that's in alignment, spirit takes over, and you don't really have to think about it because you're on the spot. She didn't think about the meditation. We didn't have any sort of plan for this at all. We didn't know we were going to do it for the beginning and end for both days. And so it just flowed right out of her. And it wasn't her, it was spirit. And it wasn't me, it was spirit leading the drums, which also led us to opening up a new kind of branch of Cosmic Pulse that we're going to be releasing soon, which is the shamanic drum healings, shamanic drum Reiki. It's
playing with names,
the combination of the two. But she's a Reiki master, and I am a drum master, if you will. And so we got to perform for quite a few people in these drum Reiki sessions, and we actually made some money, and we were able to pay for our trip there. And in fact, Michael Lamott, he really helped us out. He let us stay with him for the weekend, which was beautiful.
Treated us to lunch, and
yeah, and that was another component of listening to spirit. At first, when we were invited by Jenna Lee to this event, it was a yes, and then there was some things that didn't feel like it was mostly financial for me, and so then I was like, yeah, maybe not. And then there was just something in the back of my mind that said, why not? And so I instantly made a decision to go. And until that time, I didn't know how I was going to make it happen in a financial sense. And it was just like, go for it. Everything will work out perfectly. You just got to go. And so we got the room, we were able to eat, the continental breakfast. And yes. And
thanks, Laura.
let's see. Sorry, a little distracted. I'll get to the comments here in a second. But it all just aligned, and we got to do some things that we were not necessarily equipped to do. We didn't have necessarily the skill sets that we thought we would need to perform, and people loved it. And in fact, Laura, she was able to join us on the Rav drum for the closing ceremonies for both days, which was freaking incredible. And on the closing ceremony for the last day, we had Kay join us for he did the didgeridoo. We had Mark who stepped up for the drumming, and then Mike did the Indian flute. So the people just came together to put on an amazing finishing ceremony for everybody. So it's way out of our comfort zone. So really the point of this is like, if you're in a position where maybe you're not happy with what you're doing, or that you're called to do something more, your purpose, your spirit is pulling and tugging at you to go do something that is more in alignment. Maybe it's helping people, maybe it's creating art, maybe it's something, right? But it's listening, being aware, noticing the fear, and noticing that the fear is actually just spirit, communicating with you. Yes, go do it. It sounds cool, it sounds fun, it sounds great. Go do it. You don't have to worry about the how. The how will align itself. And then the more that you do that, the more that you step into that role, getting on live, going to these events, doing whatever it is, the fear subsides, and it just becomes more communication than it is fear. Because a lot of times, the fear can boil up some like intense feelings inside, but that fear is just like, okay, I hear you, spirit, instead of like, fuck, spirit, calm down. So, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of that, what you were saying about fear, I feel like it's either a notification for something dangerous that's approaching, or it's an invitation. And so I think a lot of us are trained to be in fear, that fight or flight response, for a lot of things that we don't need to be in that response for. So just learning to decipher, is this actually dangerous, or is this an invitation to step into something that I am meant to do? And then just surrendering to that and allowing it to flow. And the fear does dissipate little by little, and it just feels good once you do show up for that invitation.
100%. So Laura says, hi, you were both amazing. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the session. Oh yes, Laura, we actually got to do some drum Reiki on you. Thank you for the comment. It was beautiful connecting with you. I hope to connect with you in person sometime soon. You got our card, so reach out to us. It's so powerful. You have to trust spirit. Absolutely.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
Go.
So we had a space, and we were able to collaborate. I'm certified in yoga and Reiki, and I enjoy leading meditations. It's been a while. And Shane does incredible drum healing. The vibration, the sound really intensifies the feeling, the healing. It does bring up things to the surface to be released. And so we had just some really beautiful, transformative experiences that we were able to facilitate with people. We checked in to see kind of what people were needing, what they were feeling, and we allowed ourselves to just kind of flow and be guided with each individual. So I did sort of a little bit of a meditation just to kind of guide them into their bodies and allow them to release whatever they needed to release, and had them set intentions. And I did some Reiki while Shane did the drums, and it was just so powerful, the experiences that we shared with a number of different individuals, and we look to do more of that.
100%. So we're going to be announcing some of that kind of stuff on the newsletter. So if you aren't on the newsletter, you can go to thecosmicpulse.com to get signed up for that. We also have the next men's group coming up on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Our good friend Andrew, he has a recording studio that he's going to let us use for this one. So super blessed and thankful for Andrew for that. But you can also join the men's newsletter. It's also at thecosmicpulse.com. You just mark whether you want to be on the women's newsletter, the community, or the men's. We also have the Facebook community if you're already here. If not, then join us there. It's Cosmic Pulse Community. And we have the next drum circle coming up. It's supposed to be this Sunday. We're still looking kind of for a venue. So if you have any ideas, let us know. But we have some things in the works. The challenge we come across is that most of them are paid venues. And so, this is all really donation based. And, with the donations that we get there, it's hard to pay for that. So we'll figure it out, but get on the newsletter, get in the group. And we'll keep you updated about that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to hello@thecosmicpulse.com. We do these live streams every other Monday. It's called Pulse with Purpose. And we just tune in with different ideas and insights and things that we're coming across on this journey, and ways for us to learn together. And I'd love to eventually get to the point where I bring you guys on. And hear some of your thoughts and your insights and just kind of interview you. So that's kind of the goal moving forward. Is there anything else that you can think of? Yeah. Oh, yes. We'll do a little bit of meditation here. She's going to guide us. I'm going to grab my buffalo drum. Hopefully it tuned in. If not, then she's just going to guide us. That'll work.
Alrighty. So this is just kind of a little glimpse into what we started this weekend and look to continue doing. So wherever you are right now, I invite you to sit down, to get grounded, or even lie down if that feels aligned for you. To get settled in, to relax, closing your eyes, and just taking a moment to connect with your breath. Just noticing where it's at without changing it, just recognizing it, tapping into it. And just take a slow, deep inhale in through your nose. Pause at the top, hold it in, and then exhale and release any tension or stress that you may be holding. And with a focus around fear, I invite you to ask yourself, and I trust this will come naturally for you, what is something that you have wanted to do that you have been afraid to do? And as we do this guided drumming meditation, I ask you to visualize, best case scenario, this working out. We often fall to the fear and let that hold us back. So I want you to intentionally visualize the best case scenario. What if you face this fear? What if you took the next step into what you feel called to do? Just allow the drumming to take you where it takes you. allow yourself to open up to the infinite possibilities that are out there for you. Reminding yourself that you are capable, you are worthy, and you are deserving of your deepest desires. As you envision this future, feel the sensations that brings to your body, the joy, the excitement. And if you can visualize it and you can feel it, it's already here. And I want you to think about the next step. What is something you can do today? Even if it's a small step, take that leap toward your dreams. It's time. Hold these sensations in your body, this joy, this excitement, as you come back into awareness of your body, of your breath. You can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Taking another deep breath in through the nose. Holding at the top and releasing anything else that you've been holding that has been holding you back. Let it go. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back to the present moment.
Thank you, Chelsea. That was awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be doing this in 2 weeks again on Monday at 12 p.m. noon live. You can also tune in after the fact. If you're in the group, you can join us on YouTube. We have a YouTube, The Cosmic Pulse. We have an Instagram. We have a Twitter. We have a LinkedIn. Just kind of getting some omnipresence and getting out there. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you at the men's group if you're a man this Tuesday at 6 p.m. and the drum circle coming up on Sunday. We will announce that on the newsletter, thecosmicpulse.com. Let me see here. Look at that. Fancy. Join the newsletter. Okay. And let's see, going back to the comments. Thank you both. I needed that. Facing fears and making decisions. Blessings to you all.
Thank you for participating, for being here, for showing up.
We're holding that space for you to transcend them fears. We're here for you. We're here to support you. Jump in the community. There's some different community chats that you can be a part of to get connected with people. And the Cosmic Code, there is some trainings going on in there with Moon. So check that out. Laura, you are welcome. And I am sure we will cross paths again. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful spirit-led day, and we'll chat with you soon.